really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On first down, it's Gurley. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, you know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Here's Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. Powers ahead at the 45. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now the Packers get set to go. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. On second down, here's Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And this one is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Now a handoff for Gurley. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They've got a second down at 5 here to start things out. On the handoff, it's Gurley. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. On third down, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the Pack up 1st and 10 at the 20.
319.
They begin the drive with Johnson. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Now Rodgers throwing on second down. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Following the interception, Cousins. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Nick Perry coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
All right, partner, let's go back over the last couple of plays. Sack. Loss of yards on a running play, not exactly the sequence that an offensive coordinator gets comfortable with when calling plays.
Cousins now from the 50. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. Shows off the quick feet as he takes this one up to the 20. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Packers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And incomplete. Almost intercepted. The D lineman almost had it. Couldn't hang on.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing. Interestingly,
that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Sherrills to return it. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll be a 2nd down. Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. And Rudolph has it left side. Cousins to his tight end Rudolph for a Viking 1st down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
It's complete to Robinson. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route Is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it, because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. From the red zone now, Cousins dumps it off to Gurley. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll make it 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account.
For Kirk Cousins, it's his first touchdown pass as a Minnesota Viking, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front. And now, see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this 2nd quarter. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Going for the deep ball. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Wait a second. They did not accept that after the incompletion. Your look is just as puzzled as mine.
I got nothing for you here. You have to take that penalty, don't you?
It's free yards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. 1st down. Here's Cousins. And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this 1st half of action. Cousins now, only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. In the pocket, chucked it away. Flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field. Have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. There he goes inside the 30. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Now a timeout called with 3 seconds to go. And, of course, they're in field goal range in the final seconds of this first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And Bailey able to knock it through. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing, but with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Cousins now on second down. He gets it to Gurley, complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Second down, Cousins. Going deep for Diggs. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Cousins from the gun on third. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. The 21 yards there as they convert on third. Back to the ground game here. Gurley. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
All right, now here we go. Hey, 382, listen.
Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And a short gain down to about the 33. Tackle made there by Nick Perry.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing, Cousins. And that one's complete to Gurley. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Call it a gain of 5. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Packers on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 15. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out comes Minnesota. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Cousins now. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. He got 29 yards that time.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Cousins to throw it. Bryant with a catch right side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again. Gurley. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Todd Gurley, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Now Cousins going to bring his guys up for the 2-point try. They'll try and run it with Gurley. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. Bailey now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs. They go play action here on 1st down. And his pass incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rodgers. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Rodgers now to throw. The left side throw complete to Adams. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
That's fine. Yeah. Hey, check 26. 319.
On second down, here's Rodgers. There's the first NFL catch for a name to remember. Equinemius St. Brown. First target, first catch, and a first down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Hey, check 26.
They'll come out in the pistol. They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up second and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'd be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
Hey. Who's it doing?
He's going to get it running right. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either call pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Here's Jones. And he'll take this one down inside the 5 to the 3. It's about a 3-yard pickup there, but more importantly, they're still a few yards away here. It's now fourth down and goal. Now Mason Crosby for the Packers field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Crosby puts it through, and that'll get the deficit back to 16. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also... And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long.
Yellow, 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 yellow.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Bryant. 23 yards on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Here we go. Let's go.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 3. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. Room here to run. Skirts by him at the 35. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. A big run there by Gurley. 43 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now a give running left for Gurley. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, early on we talked about the key being keeping him under 100 yards. Forget that. He's over that mark now.
And that rushing total for him has correlated into a big win for his team.
Throwing here, Cousins. Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Now a desperation throw deep. It got his man complete. The 30. 10. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win him the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. And before the conversion attempt, we'll get a timeout call by the offense. And that'll leave them with only 1 remaining in this second half. Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion.
Hey, check 26. 319.
One final try now for Rodgers. And that's caught for the additional 2 points. It'll only matter to the final scoreline, and that is the final act of this game. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, You're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly.